Hello everybody. I'm back with another book video review, and it's going to be book video review number 1 for Built to Serve by Evan Carmichael. And thank you so much, the Booksters Club from Instagram, Andrea, for actually posting this to me all the way from the US, also together with a copy of the workbook, Built to Serve workbook by the author himself. And it's a signed copy by Evan Carmichael, and I was very happy to receive a copy of the book. Now, Andrea was actually running a contest on her page, which is pretty much relevant, which was actually very much relevant to the book itself, and she was actually sharing a part of her story with the audience in order to authentically connect with the Bookstagram's community, and also to let all of us know why she's doing what she's doing. And so part of the contest was actually to get the contestants to share a little bit about themselves, and also the what is the most painful experience that we have all gone through. So I did that, and I eventually won a copy of the book, and so here it is. And so yeah, I think if you're someone who is looking for a greater purpose in life, and you just don't want to work 9 to 5, you would want to escape the rat race, and you want to do something that is meaningful, this book is definitely for you. But if you are somebody who is completely okay with the corporate culture, and you can actually go about with it without any issues, because some people actually love being in the corporate world. They can actually take it, and I think they are just built for it. So I've seen people like that, and I think it wouldn't really bother much for people like that. And so therefore maybe this book may not maybe valuable for them, definitely valuable for them, but whether or not they need it at this point of time is a question mark. They may be needing it in the future, but it's the question of how much one needs the message that is in the book, right? So so that aside, my book video reviews, I have a format for myself. So I review my books according to 3 categories: the internal layout of the book, the key takeaway message, and also the plot development. So internal layout, because I don't judge a book by its cover, but I find it really important to be, to have a certain comfort level when I'm reading, like when flipping through the page, and the formatting and things like that, because I wouldn't want to read a book that has extremely small font. The spacing is not just, it's all crammed up. I don't find it very easy to read books like that. So now if you were to look at this book, it is pretty much it is, the content has been spaced out greatly, and you can actually read it very easily. But I do believe that this book has about 200 plus pages, about close to 260 pages, but I would still believe that the contents could have been crammed up a little more, in terms of putting more content in one particular page, because if you see this, some of the pages have been spaced out really widely, and you could have actually saved a lot of space, if you were to make use of all the empty spaces here and there. So that could have been a little bit better, but hey, right, it's all just fine. And so for that reason, I think I would give it 8 out of 10 for internal layout of the book. I think if the spaces, the pages were really carefully made use of, it would probably be definitely less than 260 pages, like maybe 220 pages, maybe, you know. So yeah, that aside, moving on to the plot development. Now, I am definitely impressed by Evan's method or way of presenting the content, because I think Evan Carmichael has actually consumed a lot of content from people, from a lot of successful people out there. So he is actually able to come out with fantastic content on his own, based on other people's stories, and it was really, really nice to read from one chapter to another, and how, you know, like people like Oprah, you know, have actually how she found her purpose in life, and how she actually managed to become a better person because of that. And you know, it's just amazing, right? So from one chapter to another, the continuity is there. And one of the things that I really like is that at the end of each chapter, you will be given a clue of what's going to be on the next chapter. And I think that helps a lot in terms of continuity. And also at the end of every chapter, Evan sort of like summarizes the whole thing, so you kind of like, you know, get a chance to recap the whole chapter. So that is amazing. And so for that is but some of the chapters I feel like, you know, it's a bit too short. I wish that the explanation were, you know, were a little longer. So that's probably the only downside of it. And so for that reason, I am giving it 8 out of 10. So then the key takeaway message. Now, I am definitely, you know, I am definitely amazed by this book, because I have not come across a book that has extensively explained how to actually find your purpose. And in this book, you will get literally be trained or be taught how to find your purpose. What is the step number 1? What is the step number 2? What is the step number 3? What are the homeworks that you have to do? What are the brainstorming activities that you have to do in order to find your purpose? Because a lot of people out there are just lost, and they don't really know how successful people actually found their purpose, right? So when I was reading this book, I sort of like questioned my purpose, because even before reading this book, like way before reading this book in 2013, I found a way to actually benefit from my pain, you know, because I actually just walked out of a relationship, and it was a very painful moment for me. And I asked myself, you know, what is the thing that I like doing that I've not been doing for some time? And the answer was writing. I really love writing, and I've not been doing it. And I started a blog, and I started connecting with a lot of people out there from different parts of the world. And I still remember there was a lady, an author, who actually sent a copy of a book together with a motivational deck of cards to me, physical copy, after reading my blog. And she's still my friend. She's still my friend on Facebook. She still encourages me to write. And I have connected with a lot of people who just love reading what I put out there until today, right? So that was one thing I actually learned a long time ago, how to actually transform my pain into something that is beneficial for me. However, the problem was in terms of sticking through or being consistent or keeping the passion alive, right? So and later on when I was working, I found that the corporate culture is not something for me, and I was trying to find something that has a great purpose, and that's when I ventured into my own business, and I was starting to do things on my own. And so 2 years ago, I actually published I co-authored a book, and we published, three of us, we published a book on especially for the fresh graduates out there who are like lost in trying to look for a job, and who have not been successful in their job hunt, you know. So I was so happy that to be a part of that project, to impart my knowledge onto them, you know, to tell them to pursue their dreams and ask themselves what they like, you know, and pursue something that they have always been passionate about. So that is also a way of transforming my own pain, my own experience in trying to look for a job, into something that is purposeful, into something that is serving other people. Like, you know, I am using my experience, I'm trying to teach people out there how to come out of their pain. So that is also one thing. And I have been actually doing a little bit of all that, what the book, you know, is all about in my life before this. But when I was going through the book, it made me think, what is the one core purpose? What is the one core focus that I should have in order to sustain the passion, right? So I think in terms of focus, in terms of being more, in terms of clarity, I think this book has actually taught me that I should be more, I should have a greater clarity in terms of what I do. And I would definitely be very thankful for that, actually. So yeah, for the key takeaway message, I would definitely say it is 8 out of 10. And maybe there are some parts in the book, especially there's one part where, you know, Evan was actually saying that you should ask yourself 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, when you have kids, what do you want them to see you as, right? So I've actually asked that question to myself before this, but I think that has actually not really been able to fuel my passion, because I think I have not arrived to that part of life yet, and I'm not sure if I will. But I think placing yourself placing your life, seeing your life from another people's perspective, or, you know, or maybe your future kids' perspective, may not be the best way for some people, because I think the priority should always be ourselves. And why is it important for me to do that instead of you know, why am I doing this? Because I want my kids to look at me and think, you know, oh, hey, I have a great parent, right? So I think the motivation should always be ourselves. Like, why am I doing this? That should be the priority, and not other people. So that's what I personally feel, because I have definitely asked those questions, and I've definitely think through of all that. But at this point of time, I feel that the best way to look at life is always about living a purposeful life, but asking yourself why you're doing this for yourself. I mean, of course, as a byproduct, if it benefits your family, your future spouse or children, then yes, that is definitely a plus. But you know, the priority should be yourself. So yeah, so for that, it is 8 out of 10. So the total score is 26 out of 30, and that makes the total score about 8.7 out of 10 for this book. And I would definitely recommend you to read this book because it has actionable advices, literal actionable advices that you can actually follow and implement like in a jiffy, right? So you should definitely check out this book, and I'll see you again in another book video review, and thank you so much for watching.